African Games, the biggest multi-sport event in African history. 55 nations, over 13,000 participants, 5,000 athletes, 49 disciplines. Ghana built world-class facilities from the ground up. Ghana fed every athlete. Ghana transported every official. Ghana provided medical care. Ghana delivered. A stadium, a sports complex, a games village, all built, all ready, all paid for. That was the standard. That was the NPP. When the NDC took office in January 2025, they inherited something priceless, a brand new world-class University of Ghana stadium built by the NPP, a state-of-the-art games village built by the NPP, the Bordeman Sports Complex constructed by the NPP. Everything was in place. The foundation had been laid. The facilities were ready. All they had to do was organize. And in May 2026, they were handed a comparatively modest assignment, the 24th African Senior Athletics Championships. Not 13,000 participants, not 49 disciplines, just 1,500 athletes, 500 officials, one venue, 6 days. The government's budget for this event, 40 million cedis. Released, confirmed, disbursed. This is what they served Africa's finest athletes. Men and women who have trained their entire lives, who flew from across the continent to represent their nations, who arrived in Accra in a stadium the NPP built at an event the NDC government was paid to organize. And this is what was placed in front of them. A Kenyan journalist posted it to the world. This is what athletes are getting in Ghana. That is not just embarrassment. That is a continental verdict on NDC governance. But the food was only the beginning. Athletes waited hours for transport. In a city the NPP built roads in, journalists found no working internet in the media center. In a stadium the NPP built roads in, there were no live results boards inside the venue, a basic standard at any professional athletics meet. Fans overran the press tribune, and the Ghana Athletics president told journalists, "I cannot create more space for the media." Power failed on day one, despite backup generators being on site. Accreditation descended into chaos, and the local organizing committee said they were surprised by the complaints.
Ghana time they give us 4 o'clock, not knowing that 2 o'clock that you are starting the race. So if you mind the DC to come around, to come and ensure, not knowing that they have almost called first call room, second call room. So no warm up, nothing.
Politicians in Kwame no yes sir.
And you say there's no media center.
Because Kwame African Games you create media center. So it was just a matter of upgrading maybe all the computers could said yeah.
I cannot create more space for the media there. Now you are talking about shares. The security, some of you come there. If I control some of you, they become aggressive.
And so I'm going to say this, that given all the chaos that has happened at these championships, I will not be surprised that at the end of this competition, all the times and all the distances on all the records from this competition will be scrapped. It has happened before in Nigeria. In Asaba 2018, one athlete scrapped every single result. And with this level of disorganization and this level of chaos, all of the efforts of these athletes might just end up being cost 90 work, because what athletes are not far from discrediting and scrapping all of these records from this competition.
African Athletics Championship na yeah will go stadium. and Guasiano Modemo mine a dosso. If we knew we were not prepared, none says you did a project. No, of course, I say yes, and ya by we and a Giadiana. It is a flimsy excuse. And you're not today. On buys any contract loan as Canada money. Yes, almost on budget for the whole. I didn't know $4 million, about 40 billion, and the money has not been released. I'm just paying with South Africa for. I'll listen to buy. Almost on Codidia. Almost only I got them back. Come on, so evil for another and talk. Yes, your money. Now, my way only put Casado.
There, we ask for food, they fight with us. We're not allowed to take more than one chicken bone. And I asked them, okay, listen, we are athletes, we need to eat, we need to hydrate, we need to eat. And we asked them and they said, no, go. And then you're not allowed to take chicken and fish. You're only allowed to take a chicken, or you're only allowed to take fish. And then I fight with them, like, listen, I need to eat. And then they, okay, I give you at least 2. So they just give me 2 chickens. And then in the morning, they give me a half an egg or 1 egg. That's
half
it.
An egg?
Half an egg or half an egg or 1 egg. That's it. You're not allowed to get any more eggs. And then when I was sleeping, I had no blanket. My whole roommates, all of us had no blankets. They said we had to bring our own blankets. So, I mean, for all African Games champ, putting us in a hostel without blankets, without food, with warm water, we're not allowed to, we're not getting cold water, there's no fridges, nothing. I expected a lot more.
Let us be very clear about what happened here. The NPP built every facility from nothing, hosted 13,000 participants from 55 nations, fed them, housed them, transported them, and Africa praised Ghana. The NDC hosted 2,000 participants, used a stadium and village already built and paid for, and Africa is mocking Ghana. They had 6 times fewer athletes to manage. They had infrastructure worth over $200 million handed to them free. They had money confirmed, released by their own finance ministry, and they still could not feed Africa's athletes. Athletes. The NPP gave Ghana a legacy worth $250 million, a stadium, a sports complex, a games village, infrastructure that will outlast any government. The NDC was handed that legacy on a silver platter, a smaller event, a fraction of the athletes, the money released, the venues ready. And with all of that, they still served Africa rice and beans. They still left journalists in the dark. They still let the lights go out on day one. This is not misfortune. This is not bad luck. This is what happens when incompetence sits in office. This is the NDC, exposed in full. Ghana deserves better. Africa deserves better.
North London forever. Oh, Arsenal. What a long wait to be a Premier League champion. 22 years of the North London Great Football Club, the Arsenal, have finally laid hands on the English Premier League. Congratulations to Mikel Arteta. But I have my own story from yesterday, isn't it? I think there's an Arsenal person in everybody's house. I do have one, young child. I think the youngest child over there. And that's the jersey of the child that I brought into the studio. Likes to be number 11, and that's BBGGAM. I don't know what that means. They said, by God's grace and mercy. That's what they mean. So yesterday, this child came from school, and as soon as the child came from school, changed into an Arsenal jersey, 4 o'clock, that kind of time. I was in there doing my stuff, and then he came just to let me know that it's changing into an Arsenal jersey. I said, okay, so what? He said, well, what time does the game start? I said, the game starts at 7. He said, okay. And I said, well, Burnley are going to beat you. And, I teased her like that. When the game started, it was about, I caught the game around halfway into the first half. This child was asleep in the jersey, sleeping. Everyone else in the house was watching. She was sleeping. So at halftime, I said, wake her up and tell her the bad news. And one of the children said, what's the bad news? I said, tell her that it's goalless at the Emirates. Wake her up and tell her it's goalless at the Emirates. That's the bad news. So they woke her up and said, hey, listen to the bad news. Then she woke up and said, what is it? I said, it's goalless at the Emirates. He said, oh, I thought you were going to say Burnley have scored. So she was drifting back to sleep again. And then she asked a profound question. She said, is Kai Havertz playing? And she was told yes. And then she sort of gave a thumbs up and slept. That's the level of the confidence of a child who supports us now these days. She just asked, is Kai Havertz playing? They said yes. And she said, okay, yeah, that's good. She slept. Okay, so when the euphoria of the goal in the house woke her up, she was very excited. She's been excited all the time. And today, see what happened. I think when I saw the game, one thing you have to say for Arsenal is that during the substitutions, I was very impressed with the 3 players who will walk into any team who were actually on the Arsenal bench, the 3 that came in with Lewis Kelly. That's my favorite player. Lewis Kelly is such a fantastic player. I really hope that they take him to the World Cup and he'll wear an England shirt at the World Cup and Ghana will beat them. But after that, England will win some games. Lewis Kelly is a very, very good player. I just love the way he's been discovered and I love his attitude. You look at him on the field. Yesterday, Martin Odegaard, the captain, was getting upset with one of the Burnley players who had launched into him really bad. Odegaard is prime for the World Cup, and I think that Odegaard has his eyes on the Champions League. He doesn't want to be injured. He suffered some injuries this season. He certainly doesn't want to be injured before the World Cup. So he was very upset with the tackle, and the teenager Lewis Kelly was calming the captain down that it's okay, don't worry about it also. And this Arsenal victory also reminds us of a certain spirit, and it was exhibited by Declan Rice, and videos of it have been showing on European TV tonight. If you watch Sky News and you watch the BBC, all of them are showing that video. At the end of the game at Man City, when Arsenal had been beaten by 2-1, and Declan Rice was on beside himself with disappointment, when he was being pulled up from the canvas at the end of the game, he said to his colleagues, it is not over. It was very clear, and that's the spirit of winning. That's the spirit of overcoming. I think Arsenal have sufficiently demonstrated that. Even though we at Manchester United beat Arsenal 3-2 at the Emirates, and we're a better team than Arsenal, the record shows it. We won the Premier League 20 times. We've won the Champions League. Arsenal have never won the Champions League. So Manchester United is a more successful team than Arsenal. Forget about that tonight. Scratch that. Tonight, Arsenal is the winner. And because of my daughter and Lewis Kelly, congratulations to Arsenal. Here we go, back at the Emirates, North London forever. Many Arsenal supporters have to pay tribute to tonight, too numerous to mention. But Papako Akwe has sent me a video that he insists that I should show it to my viewers. It's a young lady in her home this evening at the close of the game between Manchester City and Bournemouth, playing the violin with the same Arsenal theme, North London Forever. I think it's beautiful, and I'm very loyal to Papa Kwakwe, the former secretary of the Ghana Bar Association. Papa, this is yours. Congratulations to Arsenal, and see this video, viewers. Many more text messages coming to me. Sam Ellis, Siama, Benny Peters. Wow, Gabi Ochedaku. What an Arsenal night. What an Arsenal night. Anyway, we hope that Arsenal can make it a double. On 30th May, we are all going to Budapest to watch the Champions League final. Arsenal will be playing Ousmane Dembele and Paris Saint-Germain. That's an uphill task. Hopefully, Arsenal will be successful again. But now, the English season has ended. All the 3 trophies have been declared. Manchester City picked up the FA Cup and also the Carling Cup, which they call the Carabao Cup. That is the FA Cup. That is the League Cup. League Cup, Carabao Cup went to Manchester City. And then you had the FA Cup goes to Manchester City, and the League goes to Arsenal. Manchester United, the most improved team of the season, and of course, going to pick up the Footballer of the Year. Hopefully, Bruno Fernandes will be made the English Footballer of the Year. Let's see what happens. Good evening again. Welcome now to the Good Evening Ghana show.
To be a lawyer at some point, or you just needed the knowledge?
I know what you're asking. People talk about all of that. I don't want to answer the question because people don't even know what happened and what it is and everything. I leave it for them. People say I don't have a certificate. It's all fine. I'm not interested in that.
Harry Sawyer was the Minister of Education, and he brought a memo to Cabinet asking us to reverse the decision of the University Council, and appoint Professor Mills because he was much better. And he extolled his virtues. In the middle of it, somebody told him that in this constitution, the government doesn't appoint the vice chancellor, it's the University Council, so it cannot be done. But he was very, very emotional about it. And the more he spoke about it, the more I said, Obed Asamoah was in the meeting, but he left before the meeting ended. So as soon as the meeting ended, I dashed to his office. He was Attorney General at the time. I said, Obed, this Professor Mills that Harry Sawyer was talking about, don't you think he's the person that we are looking for? Obed said, Jesus Christ, Kwamina, you are right. He's brilliant. I taught him. Yes. Why hasn't anybody thought about him? So he called Rollins on phone, and they spoke in Ewe, which I didn't understand. And then Jerry said, come there. I know the man. I have met him. His IRS coming. Go to his house. Whatever it takes today, I want him as a candidate. Harry Sawyer was the Minister of Education, and he brought a memo to Cabinet asking us to reverse the decision of the University Council, and appoint Professor Mills because he was much better. And he extolled his virtues. In the middle of it, somebody told him that in this constitution, the government doesn't appoint the vice chancellor, it's the University Council, so it cannot be done. But he was very, very emotional about it. And the more he spoke about it, the more I said, Obeda was in the meeting, but he left before the meeting ended. So as soon as the meeting ended, I dashed to his office. He was Attorney General at the time. I said, Obed, this Professor Mills that Harry Sawyer was talking about, don't you think he's the person that we are looking for? Obed said, Jesus Christ, Kwamina, you are right. He's brilliant. I taught him. Yes. Why hasn't anybody thought about him? So he called Rollins on phone, and they spoke in Ewe, which I didn't understand. And then Jerry said, come there. I know the man. I have met him. His IRS coming. Go to his house. Whatever it takes today, I want him as a candidate.
I'm getting a lot of pressure to go back to Arsenal. Prophet Gideon Danso wants Arsenal to be the full discussion. There's a lot of excitement in North London. If you were Sky News, you see it. We'll capture some of the scenes and bring to you over here whilst we talk hard politics, because it's time for politics. But when the prophet says something, you have to obey, shouldn't you? So let's go back to the Emirates. North London forever. Stuff. Good evening and welcome to the show. And this has become a very famous topic that we've been talking about because there's something. Please, as I talk, get me the photograph of the fourth Republican presidents: J.J. Rawlings, John Kufuor, Professor Mills, John Mahama, Nana Akufo-Addo. Get me those photographs for an illustration. Thank you very much. So I have with me here the potential incoming leaders of the NDC, as we show you all the time. Johnson Asiedu Nketia, the chairman. Julius Deborah, in no particular order, viewers, in no particular order. But you have Johnson Asiedu Nketia, Julius Deborah, Kaisel Atoforsen, Joshua Alabi, and Professor Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman. So the reason why I want to illustrate something, and it has to do with the campaign period of 2024. During the campaign of 2024, we were told by some neutrals and even some political analysts that electing a president with a one-term mandate was problematic, not just for the party that will win the election with him, but also for the country. The reason, as I've been saying recently, is that one of the important maladies of That's important. One of the discomforting maladies of democracy is the succession and the choice. Even in normal life, succession is very difficult when the business entity, you remember the succession between Steve Jobs and his guy. It was complicated. You remember how Bill Gates, the Microsoft founder, at some point they said they were co-founders. Legal issues came in, and then he set up Microsoft Foundation. Gates is currently not the controlling shareholder of his company, Microsoft. Succession is always complicated, you see. So political succession is even more complicated because politics is a social contract where all the citizens have given their power unto the political class to rule over them and to rule for them and to rule on their behalf. So political succession is complicated because you want to get people to elect you. But you cannot do without it. You see, it is the reason why democracy lasts longer than all the other forms of government, whether it's autocracy and whether it's whatever. These days, you will see that even within the context of monarchy, they have introduced democracy and the ability of the people to choose a leader every now and then, to choose a leader periodically. The monarchical leader who is not chosen is kept as a non-executive leader so that the real executive powers are controlled by people who have been chosen by the citizens over whom the powers of government will be exercised. So that's important. Now, this choice matter, it always has negatives associated to it. Some of the negatives are a derailment of the economic development agenda, because you have those people who are in the economic development agenda also seeking to lead. For that reason, the term limits and the term mandate are deliberately created by the thinkers of democracy so that we will not have to be going through this choice every election cycle. They have designed it so that if at all we'll go through this complicated choice every other election cycle. So let's begin. 1992 is where the election cycle begins. Okay, I don't think they have the photographs yet, but I'll just talk about it. 1992 is where the election cycle begins with Flight Lieutenant Rawlings. He wins the 1992 election. He goes into the second term for the 1996 election. It's not very easy to move presidents in their second term. It's quite difficult. It's not because they are good or because they are bad or because they haven't done. I mean, you must perform completely abysmally for you to lose a second term. The reason why it's difficult for them to lose is that the system is already moving. They've been there for 4 years. The system is moving. So the president who runs a second term is usually running with the civil service. He's running with the police. He's running with the military. And he's running with his party. And that's very important. The last one, he's running with his party. By that I mean, he's running with the entire party behind him. Because nobody is looking for the presidency. From the beginning of the term to the 4 years when the election is due, no one is challenging him. He's running with his party. In that process, they're able to govern better. In that process, they're able to set up things. In that process, they're able to do innovations. In that process, they're able to do social interventions. So he runs the second term and he wins. Now, as soon as that president wins the second term, so in Ghana's Fourth Republic, I refer to, for instance, 7 January 1997. As soon as Flight Lieutenant Rawlings is sworn in for the second term, from that day, when J.J. Rawlings cannot run another election, the fight has started. The fragmentation begins. But the country is partially saved because the systems that are working in the first 4 years will continue to be working. So if you have set up free SHS, it will continue to work. If you have set up planting for food and jobs, it will continue to work. You are not now about to set up something. All the things have been, most of the important things have been set up. Thank you very much. I love my producer team. So this is Flight Lieutenant Rawlings, the first president. So he ran in 96. Now, the NDC thinkers who were hoping to avoid this important malady of democracy, which is the choice, decided to gather around a room, and I can name them: the Fanti Confederacy, Kofi Totobi Kwache, Kwame Ahoy, Ato Ahoy, who else? They are there. They gathered around and decided that to save the party and the image, they should avoid and jump over this necessary, essential, but a malady of democracy. Because right from 7 January, when JJ was sworn in, the cadres began to coalesce around who they think will be the next leader of the NDC and potentially the next president of Ghana. They gathered around Guzi Tano. They gathered around Ekospio Gabra. They gathered around, people even talked about Nana Kunedu Ajiman Rawlings. The same thing. History repeats itself. It's in Ecclesiastics. History always repeats itself. Vincent Assisi was the Mustafa Bande of the day. Vincent Assisi, looking at all of these troubles, said that, why doesn't JJ go for a third term to avoid all of these things? Because it was becoming unbecoming, and it is normal. So Vincent lost the battle of third term, and then the Fanti Confederacy won by explaining to JJ Rawlings that, look, there's too much jostling behind you for the next leader. Why don't you just name your vice president who has respect across board, who everybody loves? Just name him. JJ thought that it's a good idea because he could also feel that the jostling for power was beginning. It was brutal. It was very bad. But it was the second term. So everything that they had lined up in the first term, controlling fuel prices, the strategy they put in place, the strategy they put in place for military stability, all of those things were there and were to continue. So sometime in 1998, JJ then did what he thought was good for the party, what he thought was putting the party together. He named his vice president as successor. Then all hell broke loose. Because it's a difficult thing, but you have to go through it. It may cost you the election, but democracy will be saved. It may cost you the statistics of how much you have achieved in the first term, but democracy will be saved. It may cost you relationships, but democracy will be saved. But if you want to save those things, democracy will crash. You have to choose one. And every society goes through it. You saw recently at a dinner at the White House, Donald Trump, the US president, came to the dinner and asked the people, who do you want? Do you want Marco Rubio or you want J.D. Vance? Because he's feeling the pressure. The pressure is all over in his cabinet. Marco Rubio, J.D. Vance, the MAGA movement doesn't want this. They want this other person. They want New Gingrich, whatever the name is. Everybody wants somebody because Donald Trump has taken the oath. He cannot run for president again. He's doing one term. So it's a problem. The NDC went through it that way and believed that they had solved the problem, but they didn't know they had created a bigger problem. The Reform Party left. The party was disentangled. It became Basa. They went into the election and the already known NDC powerful election machine, which had wrought victory in 92, wrought victory in 96, that powerful machine before our eyes was crumbling. As a reporter, I didn't believe it. I went to the Electoral Commission's counting center in Nima. I was there with Dan Boche, the NDC General Secretary, Alhaji Huduya, the NDC, Dan Boche, the NPP General Secretary, Alhaji Huduya, the NDC General Secretary. And this was the all-powerful NDC looking like, you know, I don't want to use that word. But this, before my eyes, I was seeing it. I was wondering, is that Alhaji Huduya? Where are all the soldiers? Where is the 64 Infantry Battalion? Everything was crumbling at the Nima police station, where John Kufuor had been declared as the winner of the presidential election. Nima, J.A. Kufuor had won it because the Reform Party had campaigned so hard against the NDC. The NDC had been so divided that they had let the constituency go to John Ajekum Kufuor, who was the unlikely winner of Ayawaso East constituency, Nima. Kufuor won it. So I saw that and I really understood that this is a problem. And then I sympathized with the Fanti Confederacy, why they thought that they should think in a way to avoid it. They couldn't avoid it. So JJ left. Then came Ajekum Kufuor. He won 2,000 selections, set up everything, had his ministerial in place. He had everything in place. Going into 2004 election, the whole MPP was behind him, united behind one man. He ran with the civil service. He ran with the military. He ran with the police. Okay. Then John Kufuor went in and won. John Kufuor took the oath on 7th January 2005. By 8th January 2005, groups were gathering. On as early as 8th January 2005, I was told that, do I know that Osafo Mafu wants to run for president? And I said, oh, wow. I thought he would support Akufo-Addo because everybody knows Akufo. I said, no, he's running for president. By the time the jostling was over, Kufuor was so frustrated that he announced that, look, if you want to run for presidential election, leave my government and go and run for your presidential election. Leave my government alone. Hurry up and clear off from my government. But by that time, Kufuor had run a full successful one term. And so the policies in place were running. The National Health Insurance was launched in the second term, but all the preparations had been done by Antonio Akutose and others. They had been done. And when they were doing the preparation, nobody was looking for presidency. Kufuor was going to be on the ballot, so they did it well. So capitation grants, all of the interventions were rolled out in the first year of the second term administration because all the preparations had been done in the first term. So you can move on, okay. And then Kufuor was frustrated with it. What did we see before our very eyes? as many as 17 people wanted to take over Kufuor's slot. Everyone knew that Ado Dankwa Akufo-Addo was the obvious front runner, but it didn't matter. Everyone wanted to register their stake in the political government MPP enterprise. So that's what it is. That's what always happens. The race came in, they went through it, they fought hard, a second round was due, Kufuor cancelled it, the MPP went into an election that they should have just won. But again, they lost by a slim margin, because, as Kufuor himself told me in an interview, the MPP was divided. They went to the election with at least 17 independent parliamentary candidates, and that's what accounted for the 25,000 that brought Mills to the presidency. That's how the MPP paid for obeying democracy and swallowing one of the important maladies of democracy, which is the choice and the succession. It's always very difficult. Now, then came Professor Mills. So Professor Mills became, and he ran for one term. He was going into a second term. We know he unfortunately passed. Johnson Asiedu Ketia, and I attribute it to him, decided that there should be no competition. It should be given to John Mahama. So it was given to John Mahama. John Mahama won the election, but he didn't quite have the support of the party. In the 2012 election, John Mahama didn't have the whole party behind him. And I think John Mahama himself realized it. Because if you look at the 2012 campaign, I've been watching it this afternoon. If you look at the 2012 campaign, John Mahama really ran as John Mahama. He presented himself as the vice president who is young, who has the vibe. He ran as John Mahama. He made obeisance to the Fanti side of the NDC by restoring the Fanti on the presidential ticket. Pakwesi Emisahata, who came from Moray in Cape Coast, was an authentic Fanti, and the Fantis were going to feel hard done by if Professor Mills was taken out after so many struggles to be president and he passed, and the NDC did not recognize the fact that Fanti still had a stake in the president. So John Mahama did a clever thing. But beyond that, he did not run with the entire NDC. You saw the court cases and the processes. So the court case came. So by the time we're in 2015, the NDC was crumbling, not because they were crumbling at the time, but there were disagreements from how John Mahama was allowed to occupy the throne without a contest. And that was Asiedu Nketiah's doing, isn't it? Okay, so exit John Mahama, and then comes Nana Akufo-Addo. Nana Akufo-Addo comes in 2016, and he does a fantastic job in one term. I think that he's the most successful one-term president in the Fourth Republic. If you look at the record, it's not untrue, it's true. You may not like it if you're NDC. You may not like it if you don't like Akufo-Addo, but it's true. Why do I say it's true? He was the first president in the Fourth Republic who launched a social intervention in his first term. Kufuor social interventions were launched in the second term. Akufo-Addo was the first to launch a social intervention in September of his first year. So you have to give him that credit. He was the most effective in the first term, okay? Now, his first term came to an end. And then he took the oath in the second term. And everyone thought that this is going to be an Alan Chemartin succession, something like that. There were difficulties. Akufo-Addo wanted to try and avoid the process. So he thought that it would be a smooth run from him to his vice president and that people will accept it. But people did not accept it. Even Kennedy Japan, who comes from Akufo-Addo's belly as one of Akufo-Addo's important loyalists, threw up a challenge against the Dr. Muhammad Dubaw. Alan Chemartin's challenge was, of course, very present. And there were others who didn't show up because of fear of one thing or the other. But this is what it is. By the time the contest was running, Akufo-Addo's expectations that this will be smooth and with no challenge had been thwarted, because here was Kennedy Japan promising what he called, what has become part of our parlance. Do you remember that word? A showdown with the vice president. He said he would give the vice president a showdown. Akufo-Addo managed to create the optics and the perception that everything was okay. But deep down, everything was not okay. We saw what happened in the elections. There were MPP people who worked against MPP because they were unhappy with the fact that the choice had not been allowed to explode. Because the choice is going to always explode, but democracy will be saved. The MPP went out during the campaign. And back to my points now. All of what I said is just introduction. I hope I didn't bore you. During the 2024 election, the prospect of John Mahama winning came up. And we said it, that if you elect a one-term president, we are in trouble. Why are we in trouble? Because when he comes into power, he has no time to do one term and put his things in place and then go for a second term where the challenges will begin. The challenges begin from day one. So once John Mahama took the oath at Independence Square on 7 January 2025, the battle lines were drawn. Johnson Asiedu Nketiah had lined up himself as the next leader. Asiedu Nketia has been shocked to pulp that, contrary to what he expected, that everyone will line up behind the party chairman. No, the chief of staff, the finance minister, the chairman of GCB board, and the vice president are all important stakeholders in this conversation. And that's going to explode. Whether you like it, you don't like it, it's going to explode. Could it cost the NDC defeat? Yes, it might. But will democracy be saved? Yes, democracy will be saved. That is what democracy is about. Now, this NDC one is going to be punitive because this is the first time they are going through this. They've never done it before. So Asiedu Nketia is now getting angry and says that, why you people I was in the party before you? So that's why last week he put up that post, how I was with Rollins. And then Julius, that people brought this and says, hey, forget about yourself. You're not the one who was Rollins. So Asiedu Nketia is getting nervous about the kind of competition he's receiving. But that's what it's going to be. And who has caused it? You and I, the voters, caused it. You elected a one-term president. So nothing is being done. Absolutely nothing is being done. Well, I'm not an insider. I'm going to play videos of insiders for you to see that nothing is being done. Everybody is contesting. Is it wrong? Is it right? It is one of the maladies of democracy. You cannot do anything about it. So next time you go to the polls, don't vote for a one-term president. This is what you will bring to Ghana when you vote for a one-term president. Same with America. But they have better structured institutions that are strong. So John Mahama is not able to build. He's not. Because after he took the oath, he's not there anymore. He has 3 years to go. Now he has maybe a little under 3 years to go. They are fighting. Asiedu thought that it would be a walk in the park. How is it going to be a walk in the park? The chief of staff is interested. Powerful positions. Minister of Finance is interested. Powerful position. Alabi, chairman of GCB board, sufficiently recognizable. And the vice president, of course, who is the apprentice to the president. She is the heir apparent. If you want to look at it in terms of technical, she's the heir apparent. So Asiedu Nketia is frustrated, but we don't sympathize with him. He has marketed into our Jubilee House a one-term president, and this is what is going to happen. So when Kwesi Pratt talks the way I'm going to show you, I'm not surprised one bit. And we said it before, and it may happen in our democracy again, but if it happens again, it will come with the same problems. And that's why we said, do not vote for a one-term president. If Muhammadu Bawumia had won the election in 2024, there will be no conversation about who is coming. By now, we'll be strengthening free SHS. We'll be putting pressure on Bawumia that when you were leaving 2022, the price went to this. The price must come down. There'll be a lot of pressure on him. Muhammadu Bawumia, will be under so much pressure for his second term. He will rally his government behind him. And all of MPP would have been behind Bawumia going into 2028. It doesn't mean they will not lose the election, but it means that the governance systems will not suffer because Bawumia will need to send a receipt to the Ghanaian people for them to re-elect him. Here, we don't have that. And so we are going to have the problem. So Kwesi Pratt, Ambassador, please, let's all stop crying. We have brought this upon ourselves. We said it, nobody listened, and this is what is going to happen. Here, Kwesi Pratt.
It's dirty. It's nauseating. And I wonder why President Mahama continues to allow this to happen. I can't believe it. It's nauseating. Look, I have ears that hear some things. Today, if you go into the government machinery, some departments, some agencies, some setup is not working well. Do you know the excuse they give? Oh, they are not getting financing for our projects because the finance minister is interested in becoming president. And because he knows that I won't support him, he doesn't want me to succeed. It's all over the place. How do you tolerate that in government if you want to succeed? How do you tolerate that in government if you want to succeed? You see, the body things that you see, ministers talking to each other and so on, it's all superficial. Because deep down, everybody has a dagger ready to stab the other so that they become presidents.
And it's happening.
Oh, it's frightening. And what the example is given.
Why is it not frightening?
It's frightening.
Why are you asking whether it's happening? It's automatic.
Yeah, it's frightening, yeah.
You see, if you have two ministers who all are determined to compete to succeed President Dramani Mahama, do you think they will cooperate? Because every minister wants to outshine the other. What they have now is competition. It is not cooperation, it is competition. And it is a very dangerous thing to happen. And you see, my brother, let's be honest, that is why me sitting here, my respect for somebody like Haruna Idrisu has increased. When all this started, he came out publicly and said, I'm not interested. What I want to do is to help the president to achieve his agenda. He set himself out. That is why sitting here, my respect for the vice president has gone up. You know why? Because anytime she has been asked whether she's interested in succeeding Mahama, she says no. Her priority is to make sure that President Mahama succeeds. Anything after that is another matter. The priority now is to make sure that the NDC and the president succeeds in delivering the promises that they made to the electorate. It's not about who replaces him. Why? The mandate is for 4 years. Yes. The mandate is for 4 years. We have entered the 17th month after assuming office. All the key promises, how many of them have been achieved? And you are not focusing on achieving the key promises that you made to the people. Your focus is on pursuing a reckless ambition. It's unbelievable. Completely unbelievable. Completely unbelievable. And in any case, all those clamoring to replace Mahama and so on, do they think that if President Mahama is not able, President Mahama and the NDC are not able to deliver the promises they made to the people of Ghana, any of them can become president? Their becoming president is contingent on the success of this administration, not on their beauty or their handsomeness or the size of their pockets and so on. It's about meeting, satisfying the people of Ghana. And they are not concentrating on that. All their concentration is on this useless, and excuse my language, there's no other word for it, stupid competition for power. It's unbelievable. But you see, in the long run, who is to blame? In the long run, who is to blame? Why is President Mahama not cracking the whip? Why is he not sacking them? Why is he sitting there for people to dance tango around him and mess his administration? They are messing him up. They are messing him up completely. The people he has appointed are not focusing on the job. They've shifted their focus from the job to personal ambition, and it is time for them to go. It is time, if President Mahama is serious about delivering on the promises that he has made to the people of Ghana, he needs an entirely new team which is focused on the job, not on personal ambition. Why? What is happening? It's so sickening, it's unbelievable. So sickening. You understand? And I want to hope that President Mahama will crack the whip. I want to hope that he will get a team which is focused on delivering the job. A team who would not be sitting down telling the public that you will soon become a lame duck. A lame duck. A team which will work with him to the finishing line. You understand? A team which will be loyal to him. A team which will share his vision till the last day of his office. Not a team which is waiting for 18 months to election to dump him because he's a lame duck. Why? When he hears people referring to him as somebody who is just about to become a lame duck, how does he feel? What? President Mahama, you...
Can somebody make this argument that these are presidential ambition procedures and the maneuverings that are so happening are just necessary evils?
My brother, listen to me carefully. Listen to me carefully.
Who's making the argument?
Leadership does not arise out of self-declaration. Empty self-declaration. That is not how leadership arises. Leadership arises out of commitment to a common goal. Today, if people in this administration are seen to be working hard to solve the problems of Ghana and so on, They emerge as leaders.
Yes.
It is not because they are proclaiming themselves as leaders or they are paying people to sing their praises. That is not how leaders emerge.
So you heard that from Ambassador Kwesi Pratt Jr. I like the way Kwesi Pratt in his presentation slips in a subtle campaign for the vice president and Idrisu Haruna. It's the same thing. You see, Asedun Ketia supporters are going to watch Kwesi Pratt this evening and say, look at what he's doing. Whilst he's talking, he's slipping in a campaign for the vice president and Haruna Idrisu. He singles out two of the contestants. Oh, I like Haruna Idrisu. Haruna Idrisu is actively holding meetings on the same matter. Why is Kwesi Pratt telling that he doesn't know? He knows. But he supports Haruna Idrisu and the vice president. I support Asedun Ketia. Some people support Julius Debra. Kwesi Pratt supports Haruna Idrisu and Professor Jenano Pokwajeman. And that's precisely what he's showing. So whilst he's presenting the case that this is bad, as if we all don't know this is going to happen, as if it's not part of the democratic news, it is part of the democratic news. He is doing that, and in the process, he slips in Haruna Idrisu and Professor Jenano Pokwajeman, which is a ticket we have heard was brewing, but now Haruna Idrisu is shifting camp to join Julius Debra, and that's going to be a dynamite if that happens. But we on Asedun Ketia's side, we are unfazed by the situation. We are solid where we are. Johnson all the way. So Kwesi Pratt should not cry. This is democracy. You elect a one-term president. This is what you have elected. What will President Mahama do? Sack who? He's not going to sack anybody. He's not going to be able to do anything because even the business community have stopped looking his way. They have finished with him. They've dealt with him 2024. They have heavily supported his campaign because nobody wanted NPP at the time. In 2025, Mahama has brought dollar down. The business community has supported him. 2026 is bye-bye to Mahama. A businessman is checking out who's coming next. That's how it works. So next time, let's make sure that this difficulty about democracy is not happening one election cycle and then another back-to-back election cycle. We went through it in 2024. The next time we should have gone through is 2032 because we elected a one-term president. That is the problem we have on ourselves. It's a daunting situation. The economy is going to suffer. I can assure you that. Forget about what you're seeing. I had meetings this afternoon and I said, hey, the things that are happening, we may even go back to IMF. The revenue shortfall is there. It's not happening because ministries must come together to pull out the GI revenue. They are not doing it because Atufosin won't give him money. So if Atufosin won't give him money, why should I go and do the agencies under me? Why should I insist on their GRA? Me too, I won't do it. So it's disarray going on. What Kwesi Pratt is painting is not an exaggeration. In fact, he's actually underplaying it. Ghana is in a crisis, but it will come 18 months from now, and we'll all see it. Because we have elected a leader with one term. He's gone. It's not only Kwesi Pratt who is frustrated. If you think Kwesi Pratt is an outsider, he is not an outsider. You said at the beginning of his introduction, he said his ears hears many things. He's a very senior and respected person. He's not an outsider. But if you think he's an outsider, here is Mustafa Gbande, who is the director of operations, deputy director of operations at the Jubilee House, and he's also the deputy general secretary of the party. Hear him.
And again, is the party up for election? Who told all these things that NDC is going to go through election? I don't know, but I'm just saying that what if we don't open the party up for election? It's a shame. Because the NDC, we don't know elections. The NDC is a tradition that is founded on consensus building. We are not MPP. And we must not allow what the MPP is doing to go into our head.
Bang, bang, bang.
Nia is creating suspicion among us. Unam kra na so we we nipa. Unam hwa na esi una ubu awi. Me obi di bank obi di sade ne ba me so antokwa abesu nya.
Bang, bang, bang.
Obi di sade ne ba so. Because I will not allow anybody to align me to short visions. Now there are two clear things that we are doing. We have to satisfy the party people, and we have to make sure the president succeeds. Look, it doesn't matter all these people. Anybody who becomes a leader of the party without President Mahama, you lose.
You can cry all you want. It's the malady of democracy. The choice is going to happen. The president will be a lame duck. You can be the most powerful president in the world. You will be a lame duck. You can be Barack Obama. You can be Ronald Reagan. You can be anything. When you have taken your last oath and you do 1 year after that, the next of the 2.5 years, you are a lame duck. Because everyone is withdrawing from you. The IGP is withdrawing from you. Military commanders are withdrawing from you. They are all looking for the next. because everyone wants political longevity. So that's what is going to happen. We have brought this upon ourselves. Let's try as much as we can to save it. So here's Joshua Alabi, who has started his campaign. And he says, Alabi for the next step. And he puts up a photograph of he and John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency the President. And he says, a very significant image of great leaders. So Asiedu Ketia cannot show some of this photo. He's doing thank you tour. We are in 2026, isn't it? We are in May 2026. The election was fought in December 2024. Swearing in was January 2025. 1 year has passed. Johnson Asiedu Ketia, the chairman of the party, is still doing thank you tour. You know why? Because his thank you tour is his campaign platform. And because he's been frightened into the number of people who are looking for it, he's created a platform through thank you tour to do it. I'll be talking about something that Asiedu Ketia has done, about which there's a letter that has come. And I'll show you that as well. So this is Alabi, who is campaigning, who is quite credible. Alabi has one of the best records in private life of all the people contesting. Well, they all have good records, but Alabi has the most significant record in terms of what he's done in his private life. His reputation is really up there. So he's trying to build on that and tell people that I am the most suitable candidate to take over from John Dramani Mahama. So that's Joshua Alabi. He says, look at me. I'm the one. I'm the incoming. I'm the heir apparent. I'm the son. The spirit will possess me. And I was there when everything happened. And he calls his campaign Alabi for the next step. There's another Alabi. A lady put up something. Oh, sorry, take this away. There's they'll get me that one. I don't know whether they have it. Okay. Do you have the lady's photograph who was campaigning? Yes, they have it. So this is one of Alabi's posts, and I like it. And NDC had used these posts. In fact, MPP too does that, using young people to make the case. He says, Prob's vision and leadership style is why I choose him. I mean, who is going to tell Joshua Alabi to stop campaigning? Is Kwesi Pratt going to ask Alabi to stop campaigning because it's not campaign time? Mustafa Gbande says, who has said we are going to any election? You are not going to election. People are having meetings. Monies have been paid. Budgets have been done. Kesela Tufosen's PR campaign is $30 million, we have been told. It's a major issue is going on. Atufosen goes to the office today. He's not thinking about you and I. He sorted out Bank of Ghana. He's giving you low inflation. Forget about it, Charlie. Let's move on. What are we doing? Which constituencies do we have? And they are working. They are working because they want to unseat a giant, which is Johnson Asiedu Ketia, who is obviously in the lead. That's our candidate is in the lead. But it's not going to be a walk in the park. It's not going to be a bed of roses. It's going to be very difficult, extremely difficult. So here's Alabi saying Prof's vision and leadership style is why I choose him. The NDC have been put in a more precarious situation with the early choice of Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. Because you see, MPP would have by now not chosen Bawumia. They'll be going through what they are going through, which is polling station elections. And by the way, polling station executives, how are you doing? God bless all of you. Please don't fight. Let's calm down and do it well, okay? MPP does it well. They'll be going through polling station elections, and then they'll go to regional elections, and they'll be going through all of that. Opponents of Bawumia will also be running the show, and the polling station will be divided into Bawumia people, Duchum people, the Kennedy Japan people. It will cascade to the region. But the MPP, in their wisdom, cut all that off. Elect the candidate first. Bawumia is firmly in place. He's the candidate. Everybody is rallying behind him. And that's putting more pressure on the NDC. The NDC are now doing branch election. From there, they are going to do that. And Asiedu Ketia has a very difficult curve to navigate. He's going to elect himself as chairman. And then after that, he has to elect himself as presidential candidate. That's unprecedented. It's going to be tough. It's going to be very difficult. But we support him. We'll see what happens. So this is Joshua Alabi here. Okay. Did they find the Fifi Kwete video? They didn't find it. All right. Now, Fifi Kwete put up, so get a text ready here. Fifi Kwete put up a press statement the other day and gave some rules of engagement of the NDC elections. And he said, and this was just to protect Asiedu Ketia, Fifi Kwete said, if you know that you are a member of the government, don't come and look for party position. From the day I saw that, and every analyst knew that this was to protect Johnson Asiedu Ketia. Because, this is how it is. The national executive people, they take the decisions of the party. His Excellency the President can attend national executive, but he's not a member. Okay. The leader of the party is the party chairman. The national executive decisions are binding on the party. Well, first, functional executive. decisions are adopted by the national executive, and that's binding on the party. The highest decision-making body of the party is Congress. So Asiedu Nketia is worried that if he doesn't stop government appointees who are loyal to John Mahama because he gave the appointment, if he doesn't stop government appointees from using their resources and their power that they have now to maroon themselves into all the executive positions, then he will have an executive. He will be chairman. His Fifi Kwete will be general secretary. But he will have an executive that is populated by John Mahama people. And they are going to work for the John Mahama candidate, which we now know is Kaysel Atoforsen. So cleverly, Asiedu Nketia says, if you are a member of the government, you cannot be a member of the party executive. So he wants to hold the control that he has over the party. But see this. Yes, I'll come to this. I'll come to this in a minute. Thank you very much. Let's go back to the text. So let's go back to the text. This is what I wanted to show you, viewers. Unhappy NDC members petition over ban on government appointees contesting internal elections. Unhappy NDC members, they petitioned over the ban on government appointees who are contesting. Do we have the text here? Yes. So viewers, see this. 3 members of the governing National Democratic Congress have petitioned the party's leadership to reverse a directive barring government appointees from contesting constituency, regional, and national executive positions in the party's 2026 internal elections. The petition, addressed to the party's general secretary and copied to the Functional Executive Committee, National Executive Committee, and the Director of Legal Affairs, argues that the restriction violates the constitutional rights of affected members. The petitioners, Sinari Tofik Sinari, Ibrahim Tuzi Abdul, Rahim Mohammed Amin Adam, challenged a communique issued on 27th April 2026, which disqualified ministers, deputy ministers, chief executive officers, managing directors, and metropolitan, municipal, and district chief executive MMDCs from picking nomination forms. They contended that the move amounted to, quote, the suppression of lawful political activity and participation of party persons, unquote. Quote, we hereby submit that to the extent that an attempt is being made at stopping such persons from particular government designations from picking nominations to contest positions within the party, these attempts constitute an act of suppressing the lawful political activity and participation of such persons, unquote. Portions of the petition stated. The petitioners further argued that the restrictions breached Article 12.1 of Ghana's 1992 Constitution, with guaranteed fundamental human rights and freedoms, including political participation. The petitioners further argued that the restriction breached Article 12.1 of Ghana's Constitution that guarantees political participation. The group also cited provisions of the NDC Constitution, particularly Article 42, which requires aspirants for the national executive positions to have previously held executive office either within the party or government. According to them, the party could not approbate and reprobate by demanding government experience as a qualification while simultaneously compelling office holders to resign before contesting the party positions. So this is where the crack is beginning to emerge. This is going to end up in court because Asiedu Nketia and Fifi Kwete are not going to rescind. This petition appears to me stronger in the legal terms based on the 1992 Constitution's guarantee of freedom of association. Now, why can't I be General Secretary of NDC? Why can't I be a Metropolitan Chief Executive and want to be Regional Chairman of NDC? Why can't I do that? Why is Asiedu Nketia saying I can't do that? That has never happened before in our Fourth Republic democratic dispensation. People are allowed to contest. It is the contest. You see, in democracy, anytime you try to suppress the contest, you're going to have a problem. You're going to clash. Anytime you want to restrict the voting, you're going to have a difficulty. Voting must be allowed for as many people as can participate to participate. So this is going to hit the courts. And the courts, I guess, are going to look at it in a certain way that may not be favorable to Johnson Asiedu Nketia. Now, if this case succeeds, then the Pandora's box is open and the floodgates are open. And Asiedu Nketia is going to see that many of his trusted agents across the country are going to be losing the election. There are 1 or 2 ways in which this can be settled. It may be settled as Asiedu Nketia is wrong, everybody can contest. Or it may be settled as Asiedu Nketia is chairman of GAPOHA. So they should include those positions in the reckoning, so that it's straightforward. You are chairman of GAPOHA. You have excluded chairman of state-owned agencies who can be very powerful. Chairman of GAPOHA actually is more powerful than some deputy ministers. Everyone knows that. Chairman of GAPOHA is a really big thing. It's more powerful than some deputy ministers. It may even be more powerful than some ministers. So you hold a position as chairman of GAPOHA. You say you will continue to be chairman of GAPOHA, where you are receiving perquisites of your non-executive position. You are receiving office largesse. You are receiving adulation. You are receiving salutes from police in Tema. When you step in GAPOHA, everybody is saluting you. You have that aura. You want to bring that aura to retain your chairmanship. But another person is deputy minister. I say he should not be. So they could rule and say that you two resign from your chairmanship. And then it's a clean slate. But I suspect they will say that the directive is contrary to the freedoms guaranteed under the 1992 Constitution. So this is where the matter is. It's a very, very big matter. And we wish Johnson Asiedu Nketia well. It's very, very important. Okay, later tonight, we'll be speaking about the tussle, the Sunday press conference held by the indefatigable minority leader, Alexander Afenyo-Markin, which has generated, of course, a lot of news. The Ghana Bar Association seemed to have been pressured by Felix Kwachiofosu, the government spokesperson, to issue a statement. We're going to look at all that in some great detail. Also, the Attorney General and Minister for Justice has filed fresh charges against Hanan. You'll be surprised when we tell you what are in those charges. All of that coming up on Good Evening Ghana tonight. We'll wrap it up and make sure that we get everything before 11. It's 23 minutes past the top of the hour. Let me get the post first. Is that a post? I think it is. Yes, this is the post. So I saw this post and I was very sad, viewers. I was very, very sad. Evangelist Richard Prah, one of the loud NDC people in government, NDC communicators. He's a good guy. I think he's in Kumasi. I like Kumasi people. You know that already. Evangelist Richard Prah. He put up this post and said, "Happy birthday to Mary Uzi." Now, I watch all these NDC communicators quite a bit. So viewers, see the places that I have marked red. After 3 hours of the post of a happy birthday to Mary Uzi, look there. 3 likes, 1, 2, 3 in 3 hours. For those who may not be familiar with it, this is very, very low. A person like Evangelist Prah posting Mary Uzi in 3 hours on her birthday, you're going to have about some hundreds of likes. Then you have one person sharing it. You're going to have hundreds of people sharing it. Then you have 2 comments. You're going to have about 900 comments. So this told me that Mary Uzi has lost ground heavily among the NDC faithful based on the things she's been saying. She's lost the foot soldiers. Mary Uzi, I'm very sorry. She's completely lost the foot soldiers because look at her birthday. Evangelist Prah says, "Happy birthday to Mary Uzi." Then they will. That's how politics is. You say the wrong thing, you lose your support. But I sympathize with them because we're all politicians. And I don't like it when women are also... So we decided on our own. We are not NDC people. We don't even know Mary Uzi. But the way she's suffering on this one, we decided that here on Good Evening Ghana, we'll praise and celebrate Mary Uzi. We'll do a montage for her. So we've done a beautiful montage. Happy birthday, belated happy birthday, Mary Uzi. Don't mind the foot soldiers. Small thing you said... it's true. It's true. It's not Chobo alone that wins election. It's brain. It is not Chobo. We all agree with you. And because you said the truth, they are angry with you. Look at your birthday. 3 hours only one. Oh, NDC people, don't do that. Don't do that. NDC power. Don't do that to Mary Uzi. 3 hours. Only 3 people. 3 whole hours. Oh, Evangelist Prah, I'm sure he was sad. Mary Uzi, if NDC don't like you, we will like you. Happy birthday. This is for you.
Arise for Ghana, oppression of the land, forward and seek your future, development our God, from vision to victory, the NDC shall lead, able Democrat, Ghana. Our strength in unity from vision to victory.
Yes, sir. Only in his office, only politics. I am politics. Unless it's office or join politics. Or my if he wants to join politics, you should let us know.
Next time, then you deal with him as a politician. But today, the best man will say, when you're soft. Unless it's what person will join politics. If he wants to join politics, he should let us know. Next time, then we deal with him as a politician. But today, the best man will say, when you're soft.
Is a winner. From victory to victory, and this shall lead. Able Democrat, Ghana, our strength in unity. From victory to victory, and this shall lead. Able Democrat, Ghana, our strength in unity.
Well, happy birthday, Mary Ewusi. I saw this shocking video on from the Public Accounts Committee. I don't know what comment to make on it, but here is Minister for Communication and Member of Parliament for Ningo Pram Pram, Sam Nate George. I mean, he went to the Public Accounts Committee. I think he wanted to show his ministerial powers. It looked like he had gone there with his arsenal guns loaded in his body, waiting to pounce on the chairman of the committee, the very decent Abena Osasari. I think Sam George was ready to pounce and to show the NDC people that he's the one who can deal with the woman. I mean, the behavior was, I don't want to say much. Let me take you to the Public Accounts Committee. Here is the video that some of you may have seen, but have a look at it again.
Are about making profits, and those profits they paid to you over 8 years at the Finance Ministry as corporate taxes. Policy decision and policy leadership ought to make sure that we took steps to protect the customer. And I'm saying that we, under this reset agenda and under a responsible government, have done so.
Minister,
no, Honorable, I'm also a member of Parliament. Don't do this. You don't have, please, I am on the floor, Honorable.
I understand.
Let me make my point. No, you won't heckle me. Don't play sentiment. Chairman, until and unless policy decision is making, Honorable, you need to rein in the Honorable member. She's being unruly.
No.
You're being unruly, please. This is unbecoming of a member of Parliament. Please, stop doing this.
Listen, you don't have the floor.
No, I have the floor. No, you have asked me a question. I have the floor. You will let me answer the question.
Minister.
No, you will let me answer the question. No, you won't do that, Abena. You won't do that today. Let me finish.
Minister, respect me.
Let me finish.
This is our committee.
No,
you don't tell us what you want to do.
But you've not brought me here to talk down on me as well.
Nobody's doing that.
So I listen to you.
Minister,
go on. You will listen to me as well.
Respectfully.
We have asked them to go out. We have asked them.
Respect me, can you turn off your
mic? The chair
mic?
gave me the floor, please.
Minister. Minister.
Honorable, don't do this.
This is our committee. Minister, respect me, I understand.
So if it's your committee, then don't invite us. But if you invite
Minister,
us, you ask us a question.
Minister,
so if you ask us a question, you listen to us as well.
Minister,
it's not a monologue.
Respectfully.
So respectfully, let me land.
We will let you land. Just a minute.
Sites.
Minister, respectfully, we will let you land. Minister, we are not coming to repeat anything. Respectfully, we will let you land. Please. When you come here and we address issues, it is not that we want to talk anybody down. Never. You and I, we go beyond this. We go beyond this. It is not that we want to talk anybody down. But Minister, the situation is serious. And that is all the sentiments I'm trying to carry across.
And that's the point I'm making. We've given a policy direction in January. On the back of our policy direction, MTN is rolling out 800 new sites. Telecel is rolling out 300.
No comment, viewers, no comment. Send your comments to Good Evening Ghana Official on Facebook. But the NDC may have a struggling story with Mary Ewusi and Sam George. But the future belongs to the NPP. And I'll show you why. Over in America, yesterday, 2 of Kennedy Japan's daughters graduated brilliantly. And they are future NPP appointees. You know that, don't you? They graduated brilliantly. Amanda, which one is Amanda? Is it left or right? Okay, Amanda Ejapon. Give me the text. Let me do it. Oh, that's Amanda Ejapon. Amanda Ejapon had dual master's degree from Wharton, MBA in neuromarketing, and Lauder Institute Masters of Arts in International Studies, focused on Sub-Saharan Africa. You see the future. You see the future. This is the future. The future of youth and excellence is on the blue, white, and red side. Congratulations to Kennedy Ohene Japan and his family. Amanda got through it. Let me read it again. Let me read Amanda's profile again. Amanda Japan now has a dual master's degree from Wharton, an MBA in neuromarketing, and Lauder Institute Master of Arts in International Studies that focused on Sub-Saharan Africa, including Ghana. Fantastic. This is really, really good. It's a proud moment for a great father. Amanda has done it and has done it fantastically. Let's look at the second daughter, Yvonne Ejapon. Yvonne Ejapon qualified with a Bachelor of Arts in Cognitive Science. She wins Global Award at Yale, Ivy League Yale University. She was awarded the Arthur L. Pulley LLB 53 and Benis Kosipole DIV 56 Research Award for the advancement of peace and justice in the Americas and Africa. This is really good. This is the future of the new patriotic party. This is her over here, Miss Ejapon, holding the flag of her university. Let me read it again. Let me read it again. That's she and her graduate, her teacher, Yvonne Ejapon, a Bachelor of Arts in Cognitive Science. She wins the Global Award at Yale University, Ivy League Yale. She was awarded the Arthur L. Pulley LLB 53 and Benis Kosipole DIV 56 Research Award for the advancement of peace and justice in the Americas and Africa. Yvonne Ejapon, congratulations. Let me have the two ladies and their dad here. Let me congratulate Kennedy Ohene Ejapon, a former member of parliament. My screen is, okay, it's back now. Kennedy Ohene Ejapon. Oh, are they fighting Kennedy Ejapon? Please. Okay, it's going off again. It's going to come again. I'm waiting for it to come, but we want to congratulate Kennedy Ohene Ejapon. Oh, Kennedy is going to say it's a sabotage. Your producer, what's happening? We have to have it. You know, it's a political story. Thank you very much. So that's Kennedy Ohene Ejapon, MPP stalwart, very popular Ghanaian politician and businessman, recently contested the MPP presidential candidate for the second time. Two of his daughters making Ghana proud and making him proud. Congratulations, Ofa Kennedy. You are developing the next generation of leaders in Ghana from the new patriotic party. I think that's very, very good. A lot of congratulations. We're going to take text messages now. After that, we are going into Alex Afenyo-Markin's head. The distinguished minority leader held a press conference and shook the grounds and opened the honestness. He talked his mind, he talked his heart, he talked like a leader. And we're going to get that. And then we'll tell you what are the charges for Hanan. Alex Markin's story, we are coming to it after the break. Let's take text messages now. Who should I start with? Fatih, what are people saying?
All right, thank you, Paul. So I have Alex Tofo here saying it's only in Ghana you have an arrogant, disrespectful, and a shameful person like Sam George as a minister. No wonder he's a member of the NDC. Alhaji Bob Sidi says, what is Mustafa saying? If we don't open the party for election, what will happen? Does he think he can appoint someone to stand for the party without election? John Mahama's goodwill is fading and soon Ghanaians will realize the mistake they've done. Yalfabri here has a long message for us. It says late President Ivan Sotamos was able to lead the NDC as flag bearer to election 2000 was primarily the influence of the former President Jerry John Rawlings, and led again to election 2004 and 2008 because the NDC had confidence that he's going to win as former flag bearer. In addition, President Mahama became the flag bearer of the NDC to election 2012 because he became automatic president by Constitution of Ghana after the death of the late President Ivan Sotamos. So the NDC was very conscious of sympathy votes from Ghanaians for his death. President Mahama led the NDC again to election 2016, also on the basis as sitting with only one term. The NDC had the trust in President Mahama in winning as former president and former flag bearer to election 2020 and 2024. Looking at the trend and dynamics for 2000 to 2024 elections, Selection of flag bearer for the NDC to election 2028 is going to be difficult because the vice president does not appeal to the grassroots members and the NDC as a whole, like what the NDC in 2002 to 2012 saw their vice president. Kwame also says it's difficult to work effectively as a leader when the people you work with are only after their personal gains. God have mercy on our president. Maxwell Burnham says you should be a political lecturer, Paul. I am loving your presentation. And lastly, coming from Samuel Fosuba, says, indeed, you've taken the Ghanaian journalism to a different level. You've added passion to spice and to inspire your listeners. What do you have for us?
Thank you so much, Fatih. And from General L. Coleman, concerning Arsenal's win, he says, congratulations to Arsenal. I hope they maintain the momentum next season. However, we are Liverpool and you never walk alone. Coming from Gusty Man, he says, Paul, beware. This is just the start of the Arsenal FC era. Once the Gunners take aim, nobody survives. Champions of England today, conquerors of Europe tomorrow. The biggest trophy is waiting for us, and it's coming to North London. Come on, you Gunners. And moving away from that, Nana Owusu says, Paul, the historian of our democratic governance, I think you should have a 20-minute segment on every show to educate Gen Zs about Ghana's democratic history and related issues. Again from General L. Coleman, he says, Apostle Paul, you are truly anointed to be a world-class journalist. This is why Yanum keep insulting you, yet they still come here to watch, learn and take lessons from your analysis. Your deep understanding of history and Ghanaian politics is unmatched. Sometimes you explain the traditions and history of the NDC better than some of their communicators. Kudos to you and your team. Again from General El Coleman, he says, Uncle Kwesi, he is replying to the video from Kwesi Pratt. He says, no one has let the president down more than his own lack of leadership. A leader is judged by the people he surrounds himself with. And unfortunately, he chose incompetence over competence and loyalty over accountability. When leadership fails, the blame cannot always be shifted to others. Finally, from Junior Akbar in Tamale, he says, let us give it some time. Eventually, everyone will realize that the NDC is not here to work for the motherland. They are only there for themselves. May God save us from this wicked government. All they know is how to harass people as if they are going to remain in power forever. Anzaba, please, what do you have?
Thank you very much, Ikia. Coming from Joel Asmo, he says, we are us now, the Gunners. Bill Bryson says, 22 years with hard labor. EB Affairs says, wow, Arsenal has really suffered. Anyway, congratulations to them. Awufoma Radio and TV says, when will a Ghanaian child have confidence like that in a Ghanaian team? Shadrach Entry says, this is beautiful. Congratulations to us. Thank you, Paul, for celebrating us. Emmanuel Yeboah says, good evening, Apostle Paul. I thanked you last Thursday for showing Arsenal's videos on your show. Congratulations to all Arsenal fans. Hashtag straight up. Our hard Bob CD says, you won't get such stuff anywhere except on Good Evening Ghana. Lamty says, congratulations to my beloved Arsenal. Pakufi says, one has to be a novice not to anticipate the currents happening in the NDC. It's difficult to manage transitions, especially in Africa. He continues to say the NDC will implode if care is not taken. Nanama says, a wise man always listens more than he speaks. A word to the wise is enough. She also says, I never miss this show. Paul Adomotri is such a talented journalist and speaks eloquently as well. And lastly, coming from Mohammed Abubakar, he says, Sam George is one of those that the former President Jerry John Rawlings was referring to as babies with sharp teeth. Over to you, Paul.
Over to us. Thank you very much. Next story to come. Alexa Fenyo Markin, the minority leader, held a press conference on Sunday to complain about a judge's utterances and lack of delivery of the note upon which Abronye had been held in custody. We understand that, is it tomorrow? Abronya will be back in court for a bail application that's being filed at the High Court. And we understand that he's not too well. We hope that everything will be okay. But Alex Markin's statement as minority leader provoked a lot of reaction. We believe that he spoke well and that he spoke confidently. The social media has been awash with reminding people what other people had said before, etc., etc. Sometime today, the judgment was put out, and the basis on which Abronya is being detained was there. It was said to be by some lawyers as unpalatable as Afenyo Markin had alluded. We'll be doing that story in some detail. Also, staying with the court, we have a lot of gist for you. The Attorney General's Department has recharged, if you like, Mr. Hanan, and out of the 5 accused persons that were charged the first time, in the second coming of the charges, there are 2 accused persons. A cursory look at the charge sheet will show that nothing much has changed. Nothing much has changed. What was Seremsai saying? Where are the new charges? What is happening? What's the relationship between Seremsai and his boss, Dominic Ayini? Why are we getting 2 double signatures on the charge sheet? Why are we having Dominic Ayini sign one and Seremsai sign the other? Is there a concern about Dominic Ayini thinking that he's not being properly briefed on some of these matters? Is it a concern that he feels that Yoko's information did not pass the legal test before coming to him? It can pass a perception test. You can have a perception, and Yoko's documents and Yoko's profiling of the accused person may pass a perception test, but will it pass the legal test when the standard of proof is so high? After the break, we'll delve into these 2 matters, all related to the court and the criminal justice system, live on Good Evening Ghana. We'll be back after the break. This Good Evening Ghana is live. Remember, and get me the video before you take the break. Please get me the video before you take the break. Get me the video before you take the break. North London forever.
Mommy, good morning.
Oh, good morning, my son. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Mom. How about you?
I'm fine.
Joe, I just saw your mom doing her usual morning routine. Like, it was just 2 weeks she underwent a major colon surgery.
Bro, see, my mom is doing perfectly fine, and we're all excited about it. It was minimally invasive surgery, and the recovery has been very fast.
Minimally? Hey! No, wait. What do you mean by that?
So they offered my mom a laparoscopic colon surgery. Laparoscopic colon surgery, which we accepted. It turned out it was equally safe with a very fast recovery time, and the cost involved too was very, very reasonable. She was discharged 3 days after the surgery, and you can see her, she's on her feet again.
3 days?
Just 3 days, bro.
Mean Tuber Hospital, first Ghana colorectal center, aimed to serve a peculiar health need.
Finding the ideal property shouldn't be a daunting task. At MNC Properties, we believe everyone deserves a place to call home. That's why we specialize in providing affordable housing options under our flagship project, Fresh Property Joy, specifically designed for low and medium income earners. Our range of customizable homes includes 2 and 3 bedroom standard and executive options, all meticulously crafted using innovative interlocking brick technology. We understand the importance of simplicity and convenience in the acquisition process. That's why we have designed our procedures to be straightforward and hassle-free, offering flexible payment options tailored to your individual needs. In addition to our affordable homes, we proudly offer litigation-free lands for sale in vibrant and upscale communities that present the perfect opportunity to build your dream home. We are committed to making affordable housing a reality, providing you with the joy of owning a home that meets your budgets and aspirations. Whether you're looking to buy, rent, or invest, we've got you covered. Our service team is ready to assist you on 030-255-1917. MNC Properties.
Launching BSc Development Economics at the Ghana Christian University College. Study a job-ready university program, BSc Development Economics at the Ghana Christian University College. Job is ready for graduates who possess degrees and certificates in BSc Development Economics, professional certificate in theoeconomy, certificate in theoeconomy with business. Enroll at the Department of Theology and Economics at the Ghana Christian University College, Amrahia, Adenta Dodua Road, Accra. Full bursary is available for BSc Development Economics graduates to study master's program at the State University in South Africa. Enroll now. Take advantage of this opportunity to join elite professionals in economics. Call 0557-351-090 or 0575-633-307 or 030-296-0542. WhatsApp us on 0557-351-090 or you can get in touch online on www.theoeconomy.edu.gh. Powered by the Center for Theology and Economics, CTEC.
In my line of work, a confident smile is everything. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste keeps me on top of my game and ensures my smile is always radiant and bright.
With the tiring nature of my job, we spend several hours under the scorching sun. To keep our teeth white and our breath fresh all the time, we use none other than Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. You're on a Kessie and in a kit one.
Samayo Kendini, a who be here, Semetra Sapapadia to a mammy man for Kel Charcoal's natural ingredients, and a bomb is so by a man is swing, and a sansu mama hotel so a will bedroom.
Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Choose Kel Charcoal Toothpaste for anti-cavity, whiter teeth, and fresher breath all day. Available in 80 gram and 150 gram. Grab yours today.
Kel, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Launching BSc Development Economics at the Ghana Christian University College. Study a job-ready university program, BSc Development Economics at the Ghana Christian University College. Job is ready for graduates who possess degrees and certificates in BSc Development Economics, professional certificate in theoeconomy, certificate in theoeconomy with business. Enroll at the Department of Theology and Economics at the Ghana Christian University College, Amrahia, Adenta Dodua Road, Accra. Full bursary is available for BSc Development Economics graduates to study master's program at the State University in South Africa. Enroll now. Take advantage of this opportunity to join elite professionals in economics. Call 0557-351-090 or 0575-633-307 or 030-296-0542. WhatsApp us on 0557-351-090 or you can get in touch online on www.theoeconomy.edu.gh. Powered by the Center for Theology and Economics, CTEC.
Hey buddy, it's me Azar.
Yeah, me now they see. Hey, you don't look fresh. Oh.
Hey.
When your label today, me.
Wait till you see what's inside me.
Azar, freshly made inside and out for greater coverage and colors that last longer and beautify your walls, spaces and places. Azar, no size. Go ahead. Buy now. Azar, #1 from Azar Group since 1921.
We are changing, so should you. If you're dreaming, don't be afraid. And in the valleys, keep your head up high. Dare to dream with Puma drinks. Puma, Puma. Yeah, believe it, you can achieve. Puma, Puma. Oh yeah, clap your hands for the whole new vibe. Make we set the Puma. Oh yeah, come alive. Puma, Puma. Let me hear you. Puma.
Puma drinks, a whole new vibe. Another quality product from Casa Precon.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Looking for comfort, convenience, and class all in one place? Welcome to Stay Easy Apartments on Conference Center, where modern living meets exceptional service. Whether you're staying for business or leisure, Stay Easy offers you a home away from home. Spacious and well-furnished apartments, pool, gym, and everything you need to relax and feel at ease. Planning a meeting, workshop, or special event? Our event ground and state-of-the-art conference center is designed to host your events and bring your vision to life. From corporate gatherings to private functions, we provide the perfect space, supported by modern equipment and a professional team ready to assist you. At Stay Easy, your comfort and success are our priority. Book your stay or reserve your space today. Call us at 020-739-1473 or 0244-226367. Stay Easy Apartments and Conference Center. Stay easy with us.
This Easter, Estate Masters Limited is giving you more reasons to celebrate in our extended Easter promo. Secure your dreamland at Nest Cottage, Chapoli with a massive 15% discount. Or choose Palm Hills, Gomwa Pamfukurum, also at 15% discount. And for lovers of the coast, Coastal Park, Mingo Prampram awaits you at 10% discount. Plus, enjoy free site visits and free documentation because we make land ownership simple. This Easter, don't just celebrate, invest in your future. Estate Masters Limited, your most preferred estate partner.
Can he tee up someone in red? And it goes towards
That's who goal you for. I got 5 Champions League. You want to know? I be the real goat. Chairman. I'm the real goat. The left magician. The left magician.
Who is the goat? Ghana Jollof or Nigerian Jollof?
Ghana Jollof has no co-equal. The smell alone. Oh my God.
No, that shit. You two they lie, eh? Now the same stew when they use cook the rice and then they go put them for top.
Hey! You are lying. Ghana Jollof.
I knew this year. Forget everybody. Yeah. My guy. Put some respect on the goat. On the goat. The only goat I know lives in Tama. Every year we they give to you back. We are talking about PET. I want some Yadia face. Except be the goat, huh? My guy, he be the goat.
Though our choice of goats may differ in football, music, and jollof, Alomo Bitters always brings us together. Alomo, experience greatness in every moment.
Drink responsibly. Not for sale to persons under 18, not recommended to pregnant women. This advert.
Today, if you go into the government machinery, so
whoa, they're still talking about Arsenal, aren't they? But yes, we have the big story now. 2 big stories, and then we are done for tonight. Both of them have to do with criminal justice system. The first one is the what appears to be the unlawful detention of Abronya, the MPP stalwart, and Alex Afenyo Markin, the minority leader, held a press conference on Sunday. Alex Markin, you have to remember, is also a lawyer, a barrister at lawyer, solicitor of the Supreme Court of Ghana. Now, let's start the story with a video of the punchline that was given by the minority leader and which has generated a lot on social media. Let's have a look at Alex Afenyo Markin.
that circuit court 9 judge, I have no respect for him. For a judge to say that he's remanding Abronye into BNI custody until the case is finally determined, such a judge can never have my respect. I pray that he summons me for contempt. I will continue to disrespect him until he upholds the law. He's gone beyond his judicial function, and it is not his first. It's as if he has been selected purposely to achieve this. He doesn't talk law. I don't know whether he ever passed his law exam. It's a shame. It's a shame on the judiciary. And my Lord Bafu Boni must pay attention to this. For whatever it is, it's about his legacy. I'm told by December he will be 70 and he will be gone. Is that the legacy he wants to leave after Tokonu was booted out of office? And all manner of accusation leveled against Tokonu. Is that the judiciary? The judiciary, they said they were going to reset. Is that the reset? Where a judge will say he is remanding an accused, because if he allows him to go home, if he grants him bail, he is likely to talk again. So he should remain in custody. In fact, at first, his pronouncement was that Abronyo should go to Insawom until the case is finally determined. He's already prejudiced the outcome of the case. And this man says he's a judge. I should respect him. No way. And Sanfu say,
Good evening, Minority Leader. Salute to you. That was very strong. So the Minority Leader in the press conference also made the point that as at the time he was speaking, the basis on which Abronye had been held, which will be the basis on which one can go to a high court to seek redress, has not been given. And it's very curious, viewers, because normally in such criminal proceedings, what happens is that because the freedom of the accused person could potentially be curtailed, it is the practice that the reasons for the curtailment are quickly produced on paper so that counsel for the defense counsel can actually go and file an appeal as quickly as possible so that the freedom of the person will be dealt with. But in this case, as at 5 days from the time Abronye had been detained and till the time the Minority Leader was speaking, the document that sort of took Abronye into custody was not ready. It's in the bosom of the judge, and he has to put it out to the registrar so lawyers can get hold of it. Day after day after day after day, the accused person is being detained. The basis of his detention is not yet on paper. Of course, the judge spoke in court about it, and it is the words that the judge spoke in court that Alex Markin was relying on and saying that the judge said that he was going to detain Abronye until the final determination of the matter. These were words that were spoken in court. But you always need a document so that on the basis of the document, one can file an appeal. So when they are not giving you the document, then it suggests that maybe, perhaps, just perhaps, somebody doesn't want you to have the document. So that was one of the essential complaints of the Minority Leader in the press conference. And then he spoke about how he sees the judge. Eventually, after the Minority Leader spoke, oh, you didn't get me the Bar Association one, did you? Okay, we'll get to that. The judge then came out. Is that the judgment? Yes. So in the circuit court held in Accra on 13th day of May, before His Honor Joseph Yenuban Kunsong, circuit court judge, the Republic versus Bafo Boni Abronye. It was at 9 a.m. The parties, accused person was present. Complainant was the state was absent. Representation, DSP Emmanuel Nyamiche, led by ACP Alex Odonko for the Republic, present, and Daniel Mate Addo and Eugene Ansan for the accused person were also present. The prosecution said, this is a fresh case and we would like to take the plea of the accused person. We humbly pray to withdraw the previous charge sheet filed on so and so and substitute same with one filed on so and so. So this is it by court. The counsel for the accused person prayed for bail on the grounds that the accused was already granted bail by the police. Counsel further submitted that the accused will be available before the court to answer to the charge leveled against him. The prosecution in his submission opposed the bail on grounds that the accused will commit further offenses when granted bail. Prosecution relied on Section 96, 5C and D of Act 30 of 1960, Section 2081 of Act 29 of 1960, and Section 2964 of Act 30 of 1960 to buttress their argument. The court has considered the argument put up by both counsel for the accused person and the prosecution. The court is of the view that when granted bail, the accused will commit further offenses. Now, this is the contentious part. This is the contentious part. The judge held in the first line of what you see on your screen, viewers, is that the court is of the view that when granted bail, the accused will commit further offenses. This court specifically relies on Section 95, 5 and C and D of Act 30 of 1960. Accordingly, the bail application by counsel for the accused is refused. The accused is hereby remanded into BNI custody to reappear before the court at the next adjourned date. The prosecution is also ordered to conclude their work and file disclosures within 14 days to ensure speedy trial of this matter. The case is adjourned till 27th of May, 2026. So the court said that they are holding Abronye because he will commit a further offense. Now, for many lawyers, that's not the first time a judge will say that bail is being refused because you may commit an offense. It happens regularly when an armed robber is asking for bail, or should I say, one accused of an armed robbery is asking for bail, one accused of car snatching is asking for bail, one accused of a violent crime is asking for bail. The law will usually say that because you have committed this violent crime and you are now within the custody of the police, if we let you go free, you might commit that crime. Abronye's offense has to do with speech. He said something. So they say that if I take you out, you go and say something again. But that is essentially criminalizing speech, which the fundamental human rights law of modern day is against, for which reason the parliament, the second parliament, or the third parliament of the Fourth Republic repealed the criminal libel law. Somehow, this section 208 of communications, something has been slipped in, and it is being applied as if there were still criminal libel on our statutes books. It is very, very unfortunate. And I believe that the Ghana Journalists Association must stand up on this one. And they have done that already. They made demands on it. I think they must make demands on it again, because we are slowly rolling back into criminalization of speech. How is it said that a person has spoken something and that if he's allowed to be on bail, he will speak again? So we are preventing somebody from speaking. Some people may be happy about it. Some people may be laughing about it. But if this is how we're going to deal with our criminal justice system, then we are all going to be in trouble one day. It is very important that whether it's the government or the government must understand that democracy does not belong to anyone. Democracy belongs to all of us. It's a guarantee of platforms to bring people up and to raise talent. One may be in power, the other may be in opposition. And we have seen in this Fourth Republic that changes. So it's very important that we look at it well. There are NDC people who are jubilating. They are very happy about what the judge said. They can be happy today, but you never know tomorrow. But so that we don't have an ominous tomorrow, let us do the right thing in terms of the laws. No human being can be trusted, but the laws can be trusted because they are inanimate. Repeal Section 208. Repeal everything that makes the laws look like criminal libel, because that criminal libel law was repealed by the Third Parliament, and there was no opposition to the repeal of criminal libel law. A law that was tabled by Adodanko Akufo-Addo, the Attorney General of the day. There was no opposition to it. So the entire parliament unanimously passed the repeal of the criminal libel law in the Third Parliament. Why are we going back to it? Just to teach people a political lesson. That is very wrong. Now, if you look at the record, let me play you a video of Mahama Yariga. What he said in opposition, which would have fallen squarely within the same thing Abronye has done. But you had a president called Nana Akufo-Addo who ignored it because he came to pass the amendments to the criminal code that removed the criminal libel. He became president. He doesn't want to go back because he believed in it. He was not just doing a political thing. He believed in it. Here's Mahama Yariga speaking when Akufo-Addo was president.
The legislation is refusing to accept directives from the apex court of this land. Where are we going? We are going back. You are restoring the law of nature in this country where the strongest fights and wins. Is that where we want to get to as a country? You are the lawmakers. You should be setting the right example, is what people have said.
That is why you should have knowledgeable people in the Supreme Court. You should have people who know their law. You know why?
The Supreme Court is not made up of knowledgeable people. If
they were knowledgeable, they would have known that the U.S. Supreme Court In the case of big
Mahama Ayariga said the people in the Supreme Court are not knowledgeable. It didn't matter. Speech, he can say anything he likes. As people in the Supreme Court are not knowledgeable. They don't know their law. They're not knowledgeable. That's contempt of the Supreme Court. It's a clear contempt of the Supreme Court. But doesn't matter. It didn't matter to the regime of the day. It wasn't just Mahama Ayariga. It was also Felix Kwachiofusu, the government communication person. Listen to it.
Again, the Chief Justice is not at the beck and call of the president. She's the head, I beg your pardon, of an independent institution.
No, I'm talking about the view towards him. I'm not talking about whether she can be removed.
We have our own views. I have my own views on it. And indeed, Bernard, I'm sure you followed me. I've also been very critical of the judicial. I don't think that they were fair to the NDC. To be honest, and I don't think they've been fair to the NDC for 32 years.
So even whilst you were in power in the previous...
Yes, I mean, you recall the Rollins era. The government of the day lost just about every case that went to court. You recall the famous case about June 4th and 31st December, the GBC case, and not the one that J.H. Mensah took to court in terms of whether ministers should be vetted again once they've been appointed ministers previously or not. We lost all those cases. Under the MPP, I would say, I'm a member of the executive, I'm a member of the Parliament, and I have not hidden my dissatisfaction about the way that the judiciary has performed in this country. Look, they were manifestly unfair.
That was Felix Kwachiofusu. There's, I'm going to show you a post by the legal activist. Do you have it? Do you have those posts? Yes, they do. Not just one. Afenyo Makin crossed the line. Yes. So this is Oliver Vomaho asking whether Afenyo Makin, saying that Afenyo Makin crossed the line by saying that he doesn't respect the judge. Then this is Vomaho in MPP Time says, Chief Justice is working for the MPP. Yeah. They say that these are okay. But if Abronye says that there's a political judge in Circuit Court 9, doesn't address any particular judge. There's more than one judge in Circuit Court 9, I hear. Abronye says there's a political judge in Circuit Court 9 that must occasion this kind of treatment, keep him in under detention and all of that. But if somebody says the Chief Justice is working for MPP, if I were to say here today, the Chief Justice Bafuboni is working for NDC, I won't say that because it is contemptuous of a court. I can't say that. I shouldn't say that. People shouldn't say that. Journalists shouldn't say that. But people say it and get away with it because they want to test the mettle of leaders like Akufo-Addo. When Akufo-Addo was president, they wanted to do something so that they will be able to say that Akufo-Addo is undemocratic. He ignored it and continued with his work. This is him. Chief Justice is working for MPP. That's what they said. That's what they said. Well, today we see that the Abronye bill will go in tomorrow, and then we will be able to get something out of it. Let's get to the next story, which is the Hanan story. So, Justice Sremsai, are we ready with the Hanan story? They're going to put, yes, thank you very much. So that's Hanan and Mrs. Hanan, both of whom have been charged. Justice Sremsai said the last week that they were going to bring new charges against Hanan. They said they have withdrawn the charges so that they're going to do new charges. In the very ridiculous post he put on X, he said, so that the process will be fair. That's what Sremsai said, that they are withdrawing the charges and bring new charges so that the process will be fair and speedy. That's an attorney general talking. If an attorney general puts a social media post and says that charges have been withdrawn, we are going to bring new charges so that the process will be fair. These were his words, not mine. He said, fair. What does it mean? Well, the earlier process was unfair. The Attorney General confesses to an unfair process against Hanan. In those days, Kofi Komsin was writing Chronicle, would have seen the banner headline, Attorney General confesses to maltreating Hanan. Because that's really what Justice Sremsai did when he said in his post on X that the purpose of the withdrawal of the charges is so that they will be fair and speedy. Fair. We thought that every process under the criminal code, under Act 29 and 30, is expected to be fair. If it's being prosecuted by the learned Attorney General, we expect that as the leader of the bar, he's fair to the people he's prosecuting. But here comes the Deputy Attorney General, who is under pressure to explain why charges are being withdrawn, because a lot of noise was made about this Hanan matter. His boss, Dominic Ayeni, had held a press conference and created a wild perception that Hanan was such a broad thief that within 1 week he'd be convicted, made allegations that were so blatant and so huge. He has stolen this, he has stolen that, he has watches, he has bags, he has this and that and that. The learned Attorney General said all these things. And so now you start prosecuting, and then we find out that you are not confident in the charges that you have preferred against the accused person. So you want to withdraw the charges. And the Deputy Attorney General says the purpose of withdrawing the charges is so that we are fair and speedy. Anyway, after a while, in fact, the Deputy Attorney General said, charges are coming today. It didn't come. 1 week has passed. After a while, now the charges have come. Viewers are going to be shocked when I show you the charges. Let's get right onto it. So we have put side by side the old charge sheet and the new charge sheet. The old charge sheet is entitled The Republic versus Hanan Abdul Wahab, Faisal Seydou Wuni, Richard Sam Asante, the Aludiba Foundation, Energy Partners Limited. And the charge sheet is there. That's it. That's one. Now, on the face of this, you will see, viewers, that the accused persons have now drastically reduced. In the first charge sheet, the accused persons are 5. In the second charge sheet, the accused persons are 2. Should we make anything of it? Not yet. Let's move on. Let's build on the case and you understand. Sermside told us that there's a better charge coming. Martin Pebu told us that the charges being withdrawn means that they have discovered more loot. This is what Martin Pebu said. The man that Kwame Ekufu said he does not belong to the community of reading men. Martin Pebu has demonstrated it again, that Kwame Ekufu may have been right. He does not belong to the community of reading men, because he quickly came out to speak and say that, oh, the withdrawal of charges means that there's been more loot. Let's go into the charges and see whether they found more loot or they didn't find it. Okay, so this is the first page. Accused persons reduced from 5 to 2. Let's go to the next one. This is another one that has some gossip with it. I'll be telling you later. The first charge sheet is signed by Dominic Ayeni, the Honorable Attorney General. The second charge sheet is signed by Justice Sremsai, the Deputy Attorney General. Should we make anything of it? Not yet. Let's move on. So we proceed. So this is beautiful. This is what my producer put together. How did we get here? Great. Let's go on. Withdrawal of charges. It was on May 5th, 2026. The state withdrew all charges against Hanan and 4 others after nearly a year. The charge, what was that? Can I go back to that one? Yes, great. Okay. The charge sheet was signed by Dr. Ayeni. Background and publicity. Charges were preceded by a press conference by the Attorney General branding the case as Rumble in the Jungle. Can you imagine that, viewers? Do you remember that? An Attorney General who is about to prosecute a case holds a press conference and is showing some stardom, and he says, oh, this case is called Rumble in the Jungle. Rumble in the Jungle is a term used for a boxing match between Muhammad Ali and was it George Foreman or Joe Frazier? Ali and Frazier fought Rumble in the Jungle 1, Rumble in the Jungle 2, and the Rumble in the Jungle was fought in Zaire, and that's why Ali called it Rumble in the Jungle. So it's a sports term. The learned Attorney General addressing press conference about prosecution of a Ghanaian says that it is going to be called Rumble in the Jungle, as if we are joking in this country, as if the Attorney General saw some joke, some play, some game we are playing. Attorney General titles a case Rumble in the Jungle. Is he a journalist? Is he the editor of the Chronicle? Attorney General, you titled Rumble in the Jungle. The case management conference lasted over 5 months before the withdrawal. Okay. Now, this is the former Iyoko CEO wife discharged as state withdraws the charges. Okay. So the state then withdrew the charges. Now, prior to withdrawal, the AG had tried to add new evidence to the case, but to no avail, as the court dismissed same on the objection of counsel for the accused person. Deputy Attorney General later claimed on Facebook that it was due to fresh evidence. Martin Pebu, the NDC oral committee member, suggested this meant more loot. However, new charge sheet shows no substantive new charges. This is the case. The new charge sheet they brought, I'm going to show it to you in a minute. it shows that there's no substantive new charges. So after Justice Srimsai's bragging that he was going to bring new charges, he brought nothing. In fact, the sum of money against against Hanan claimed by the state in the new charges has actually reduced. So the bragging of Srimsai has come to nothing, absolutely nothing, because the charges have actually reduced. If you were charging, let's just get into it. Let's get into it. Okay, comparison of the charge sheet. The old charge sheet had 78 million cedis involved with 24 counts and 5 accused persons, including Hanan's companies. The new charge sheet has 60 million cedis involved, 20 counts, and 2 accused persons. So 60 million is lower than 78 million. Actually, it's lower by 18 million. Only 2 new charges have been added, which is accounting for 734,000 cedis. They said he claims on rent something. Hanan's wife charges is 3.3 million cedis. Hanan's companies have been removed from the case. So viewers, this is where we are. After Srimsai bragging that he was going to bring some new charges, when the new charges came, they were actually lower. They're asking for less money from Hanan than they were asking the first time. It means they've gone to their books and they found out that there's a certain 18 million that they don't have a justification for. This was part of Dominic Ayini's press conference, which he called Rumble in the Jungle. This is the kind of state we have in Ghana, where the very distinguished office of the Attorney General is working like this. The very, very distinguished office of the Attorney General is now working like this. Press conference, Rumble in the Jungle. And a deputy comes and says that the charges are going to be removed so that we are fair and speedy. Then a certain Martin Pebu at the back, running commentary without being a member of the community of reading men, says that the withdrawal of the charges means that there is more loot. And then the charges come and it is this. It is a reduced. Accused persons have been reduced. The quantum of money that the state is claiming has been reduced by 18 million. Questions ought to be asked of the diligence and the prudence of work that was done at the Attorney General's office before, for A, the press conference, and B, the filing of the first abortive charges. The court's observation. The judge noted reduction in the charges and accused persons and therefore reduced the bail from a threshold of 100 million to now 60 million. The judge, the presiding judge, has taken notice of the reduced charges and now says that the bail threshold that was set at 100 million for Hanan and his wife has now been reduced by 40 million to 60 million. That is the new charges, which is supposed to be fair and speedy. That's the new charges that was called a more loot. This is what is happening. Let me give you the final gist on the matter. Let me have the 2 attorney generals here, and then I can give viewers the final gist on this matter that is heading for the court. So this is Dominic Ayini and Justice Srimsai. So here is the rumor. The rumor is that there's a big rift beginning to emerge at the top floor of the Attorney General's office. Dominic Ayini, who is described by the source as very respectful to senior judges, apparently has had an encounter and engagement with some of the senior most retired Supreme Court judges who have asked him questions about some of the press conferences he's doing. Dominic Ayini has told people in these conversations that it was Srimsai who was to review the things that Yoko was doing. And that once he reviewed it and he brought it to him, he, Dominic Ayini, was confident that he could go with it. It's turning out that some of the things were not properly done. So he is having difficulties with his deputy that, look, you better do a better job with these documents Yoko bring. There's perception and there's legal proof. You can create a perception of corruption, but to prove corruption is an entirely different kettle of fish, especially in corruption cases, which is a criminal case, and therefore has a very high standard of proving beyond reasonable doubt. That's very crucial. Very, very crucial. And so Ayini is not quite happy with this. In fact, the rumor has it that in terms of Ayini's mind, he thinks that the Hanan matter is a no-go area. Just leave it. But the Justice Srimsai has to put his ego up. His ego is so big that he can't admit that, look, we did a bad job. He really can't admit it. But he's also been heard telling people that, why is Dominic blaming him for the press conferences? Did he hold a gun to his head to go and do the press conferences? And Dominic has heard of these things. Dominic Ayini has heard that his deputy is saying that he didn't hold a gun to his head to go and do the press conferences. So he shouldn't blame him when he's talking to important judges, retired Supreme Court judges, about the thing that happened. So you see, Dominic Ayini signed the first charge sheet. He didn't sign the second one. It's Srimsai who signed it. We don't have to read anything into that. But based on what we are hearing from deep throats, we may have to read something into that. Yes, because Dominic Aine is there. He's in his office. He's still there. Why did he sign the first charge sheet and he didn't sign the second one? So that Sam Sai had to sign. Both of them are legitimate signatures for it. In fact, even the DPP can sign. The Director of Public Prosecutions can sign. But this is it. This is the story. This is what is happening. So we're going to take a very important front row ringside seat to observe what is happening in the Hanan trial. But things are not very good. We are not in a very good place as a country as far as the justice delivery system is concerned. We are not in a very good place. Let me take text messages from two of our ladies, and then we'll wrap it up on this show. As Arsenal fans cannot sleep tonight, they are going to have a very, very beautiful night. It is their best night in 22 years. Ikea, what are people saying?
Thank you so much, Paul. This is coming from Yao Febri, and it's a very long one. He says, the most important issues that matter to Ghanaians, which Honorable Samuel George attempted to address, have failed to produce positive results. He initially acted arrogantly by compelling multi-choice to reduce DSTV subscription fees, but that never happened. He also told Ghanaians that he had persuaded the telecommunication network providers to reduce internet bundle costs and even published the prices of various bundles for different telecom providers. However, Ghanaians continue to face high internet costs, rapid depletion of data bundles, and poor network services. As Communications Minister, Honorable Sam George has failed to provide the essential services Ghanaians expect, yet he still had the audacity to arrogantly praise himself for allegedly providing better services than the previous NPP government. He further disrespected the Public Accounts Committee by arguing arrogantly with the chairperson over who had the right to speak or respond to questions, simply because he is also an MP like the committee members. Senior MPs and ministers such as Honorable Muntaka Mubarak and Honorable Eric Opoku appeared before the Public Accounts Committee with respect for both the committee and its chairperson, without behaving as though being MPs placed them above the process. This type of arrogant behavior is exactly what can cause Ghanaians to vote against a government, just as the NDC criticized the NPP government for arrogance while they were in opposition, and many Ghanaians accepted that argument. What do you have for us, Fatih?
All right, thank you. So I have a couple of messages here from Max Berry. He says, we have a lot circuit courts in the country, so why is it that only Adenta Court 9 that all NPP cases are sent to? Also coming from Chris Ado, it says, is GBA happy with the way and the manner this judge is handling the case of Abronye? Is that how the law should be applied to ordinary citizens? I'm surprised they don't have a problem with the judge's conduct with respect to the application of the law, but they found wrong with the minority leaders' press conference. The conduct of this judge is not to apply the law, but rather exhibiting pure loathsome against the NPP people. I have now understood why JDM said in the opposition that he will balance the bench with NDC lawyers, which he has done in just a year in government, and they are there to do the bidding of their paymaster, but we want to assure them that power is transient. Mohammed Yusufa says Oliver has the nerves to say someone crossed the line. The Oliver who said he was going to do coup if E-Levy is passed today, he knows there are lines. And lastly, coming from Max Berry says, so the judge don't want Abronye to talk again. So even if he's in jail and comes back, he should not speak. All right, back to you, Paul.
Okay. I'm just reading a Facebook post from a guy called Kufia Jenim Boate, and it's so emotional and so nice. It says, feeling very emotional today. Congratulations to Ateta and the boys. You've got no idea what this means to us, the fans. We have suffered. Kudos, champions. Oh, wow. People can be very emotional about football. I'm sure tomorrow early morning I'll be woken up by the child, and she'll be beating on my head with her jersey and they're going to go to school tomorrow, so excited, so full of confidence With such a spring in their step. Congratulations, Arsenal. It's been 22 years. They are the Premier League champions. North London forever. Good night.